Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you are poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. So today I want to give you not so much a lesson as much as some insight into why I do the work the way I do it. I know a lot of people struggle with my approach because even though I try to be gentle and thoughtful and patient and kind and compassionate about my delivery, ultimately, the majority of what I'm saying to people about things like roots before wings, getting trained before you get initiated, forcing you to answer questions before you even consult Ifa with me, those things are difficult because they all hinge around the same thought process, which is reality check. And it's not reality check based upon what I say, it's reality based upon who you really are. And everything that I'm doing is forcing you, if you follow the directions that I give you, everything is going to force you to face yourself and to really acknowledge and accept yourself, who you really are, where you're really coming from, what you're really trying to accomplish. Why? Because in my work, what I have found is that so many aspects of our people's lives and their endeavors, they crash before they ever really get a chance to take flight because of our habit and our conditioning toward projection. We project, and I think it has everything to do with our Christian and Western exposure, meaning Christianity aspires to, be Christ-like, and so that you can go to heaven. But when people realize how difficult it is to be Christ-like, therefore they're constantly afraid of going to hell, the next best thing is to project all of their flaws onto the next person. So I may not be able to be as good as Jesus, but if I can make you look like the devil, then at least in the eyes of other people, and maybe even in my own eyes, if I can continue to delude myself, then I am doing good. So it becomes a battle of who can make the other person look worse, as opposed to really aspiring to the highest version of yourself. But you never get a chance to aspire to the highest version of yourself because you're trying to be like Jesus, or you're trying to be Jesus. And if you're not Jesus, then you're going to hell. And so I'm oversimplifying it, but that's just my observation of what is troubling people. Is projecting. You're projecting your shadow. You're rejecting all of these shadowy aspects of yourself onto the world around you and onto the people around you. And then you even will project the best part, the idealized part of other people onto them as well. And so you create an imaginary partner, right? You create an imaginary city, an imaginary school that it's the perfect utopia. You create an imaginary tradition, right? You make Orisha this imaginary thing that in your mind is going to just erase all of your woes and all of your incongruencies and inconsistencies, right? It's gonna be a space where it's come one, come all, and everything that you are is divine and holy and embraced, and everybody who practices is therefore going to have to embrace you and all that. Oh, that's all projection, right? And then you start to formulate your behaviors and your relationships on those projections, but eventually you're going to come to the limits of your imagination, and the reality of who you're really dealing with and the tradition that you're really dealing with is going to smack you in the face. And now You're committed, you're involved, you got shrines, you got pots, you're a member of a temple, and you got to figure out, what am I going to do? And that's why most of endeavors, they crash, because people aren't really in a position to deal with the reality that, hey, my projection was either never real at all, or it was only partially real. And so when you make that realization, are there enough touch points? Is there enough common ground, right, between you and the thing that you have been imagining for you to survive the death and the crash of the projections, right? So in the tradition, for example, you may want to believe that Orisha is, like I said before, Orisha is this utopia. And in the Orisha tradition, you are acceptable and perfect just as you are, and whatever you come with is what the tradition is going to accept and amplify, and it's just absolutely perfect for you to be who you are, right? And this typically is when people are dealing with like the Orisha zodiac, and they make these stereotypical depictions of Oshun or Shango or Batala. And then you come to the reality that Oshun isn't. Oshun is only two of the things that you thought she was, right? Oshun is only two of the things that you thought she was, of the 10 things that you thought she was. Do you have enough of a understanding, a real understanding of your own personal destiny, of your ancestors, of the living earth, of the other divinities? Do you have enough of a connection to all those other aspects of the reality to support you and sustain you when you start to realize, wow, I had it all wrong about Oshun. I thought that she was all these things, but she really is a whole other thing. But fortunately, I know enough about my own personal destiny to support me and sustain me as I recalibrate my relationship to Oshun. I have enough of a relationship with my ancestors to stabilize me as I readjust and refine my relationship and my perception of Oshun, so on and so forth, right? And so the work that I've been doing and the work that I hope to continue to do is to bring you into the tradition from the inside out, from the beginning, to build it from the bottom up, from the very beginning, so that you are dealing with your projections before you commit. You're clarifying all of your fantasies and you know what I mean, and idealistic views before you take on any kind of a lifelong obligation. That way, when you get to the reality check, because you're gonna get a lot of reality checks. You're gonna get all throughout this tradition, you're gonna get a lot of reality checks. Orisha is so radically different from anything that you think it is, that when you're a beginner, it's almost a guarantee you don't have any idea what you're doing. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. It's all in your imagination. Not to say that it's not a good thing. It's a great thing. It's, as a matter of fact, it's exactly what your ancestors know that you need. It's the medicine that you know, that they know that you need. But what they've done is, it's like when I was little, my mother would give me my medicine in a bowl of applesauce. And so I'm just eating applesauce and I'm tasting the sweetness, and then all of a sudden I get something that's kind of tangy. What is that? But it goes down with the applesauce. The ancestors have couched the tradition in your perception. The medicine is in there. And so as you keep spooning it in and consuming it and processing it, you're getting the medicine that is going to, heal your life. But it's going to take time, and you're going to get, like I said, constantly get reality checks. And so I want to, share these insights so that people who are really listening and struggling and you know what I mean, trying to apply what I'm teaching, I want you to understand that that's the strategy. That's the point. And I hope and pray that you will continue taking this journey with me, so that as the veil is lifted and as your projections are, brought into reality, that you will have enough of a connection from the inside with what's really going on with your spirit, with your soul, and with your destiny and your ancestors and the future of the planet, that you'll be able to endure that reality check and continue to thrive. And so, as always, this is a lesson for leaders. This is a message for the leaders. If you're someone who wants to improve the world through positive influence, then please visit obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com. Let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of the people that you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you all. Bye for now. Odabo.